My lid's backwards. I can't drink from that side.
Figure it out, Rob.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Brews and Reviews, where we sip on brews and talk about bike stuff. I'm Rob, aka the social media guy here at the shop, and I'm sitting with Graeme,
Shop owner here at Frontenac Cycle, and for our brew selection today, we've opted for just a straight black coffee from Tommy's over there. Tommy hooked us up, so thank you. Yeah, let's talk about some bar mitts.
Cheers.
Cheers. So what are we going to talk about today on Brews and Reviews? We are going to be talking about bar mitts. And I know what you're thinking. Why are these guys in floral, summery, warm-looking clothing and drinking hot coffee? It's because we're going to be talking about bar mitts and how they keep your hands toasty warm on bitterly cold days. Excellent product.
Excellent product. Spoiler alert, we're going to cut right to the end here, but then we'll talk about all the details. These things are amazing. They feel like the tropics when your hands are in them.
Yeah. They do their job perfectly.
That's all I'm going to say from now. Let's dig into the things we're stoked on.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sweet.
Okay, G-Man, let's dig into the nitty-gritty, what everybody wants to know right off the bat. Will they work with my setup?
They, 99% of the time they will work. I haven't come across a set that they don't work. The reason that they will work with your setup is because there are a few different variations. So as you can see, we've got them set up on my road bike. My road bike is an internally routed cable setup. They do make an option for if you have the older school external cable setup. So they'll have some ports for the cables to go through.
And they also
will work with a kind of more standard flat bar, or even, when I say flat bar, I'm talking about bars with a swoop back, bars with a rise, anything that kind of is not a drop bar. They'll have a setup for that. They are adjustable and will accommodate different shifter brake setups. And then they also come in different sizes. So they do a small, medium, a large, and an extra large. The kind of sizing for those, I think it was 10 inch, 10 and a half, and 11 inch sizing.
So road bike, gravel bike, mountain bike, commuter bike, bar mitts has you covered.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
So I think, our pros and cons list is pretty heavily pro.
Heavily pro.
Very heavily pro.
Heavily stoke.
Stoke is high. I think first off, one of the questions at the shop we would get is, I have gloves that are rated to minus 50. Why do I need bar mitts? And to that person, I would say, your glove that's rated to minus 50 is probably pretty bulky. Might be a full-on mitt, so you don't have the finger articulation.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking from personal experience on the fat bike riding minus 20 Celsius, I have these huge mitts with the lobster claw, and they're buckly. You got to kind of lift your hand up and over the brake lever.
They're usable, but not fully functional.
Yeah, but in these guys, you can run a mountain bike glove.
Yeah. So you're running,
feel the brakes, and
your hand is going to feel more like you're just riding in the summer. So that's definitely a big bonus.
Yeah.
What about anything else that you?
Well, just to go a little further with the gloves, we tested these last week on our gravel bikes. We did about 40K, I think.
Yeah.
And I checked my notes. It was minus 3 with 30 kilometer an hour winds. So lots of wind chill, and we're moving a little faster on the gravel bike, so we're creating wind chill. I just had thin gloves, and then at one point I said, I'm going to take my gloves off and see what happens. Rode for about 10K with 0 gloves at that temperature. Hands stayed warm until about the end of that 10-minute period. I started to feel a bit of cold, probably just from touching the cold metal on the brake lever, to be honest. But yeah, that was like a pretty amazing little test.
Yeah, similarly I did, I had kind of my fall temperature gloves on underneath. I rode them with my gloves on the way out, and then I took them off at the turnaround point and did.
And you rode all the way back. I
rode all the way back in town, and yeah, I mean, I was kind of like, dang, these are
Yeah,
Still
so
fine.
you know, a pretty thick neoprene. Not only is that's keeping the heat in here like a wetsuit, right? But also there's no wind chill, right?
Yeah.
You're not getting that wind coming through your gloves. So for me, that was huge.
I didn't crunch the aerodynamic numbers, but
Not aerodynamic.
I'm gonna say aero gains. It's an intuition. I'm gonna say aero gains.
Okay, all right. So you know, so just building on that, what does this mean? It means you can ride longer, right?
Yeah.
You can ride when it's colder, you can ride for longer. So like that, you know, -10 day where you're like, I might be able to push out 20K or something like that. Well, you could probably go 40K, no problem, and still have warm hands.
Yeah, and you know, warm hands. It's always nice to have warm hands. Whether you need to make a phone call or you know, take a picture or whatever, you know, you don't want to be fumbling around with.
I've been known to take pictures during bike rides.
Yeah.
In fact, that's my job.
You're contractually obligated. So I mean I feel like that's enough reason to get them.
Yeah, I mean, what about price point?
So I guess that's the other thing is.
And we should note that these are Pogies. Bar Mitts is a brand name.
Yeah.
So if we're going to talk about Pogies and then talk about price point, where do the Bar Mitts fall?
So they're super reasonably priced. A lot of times, I'm always going to kind of make the comparison to just a straight glove setup where you're buying a super high tech -50 glove.
My Pearl Izumi lobster claw gloves were like $110,
and
they don't work nearly as well as these.
And these are $110. So for all the different sizes and shapes and everything, they're all in that 110 price range. So yeah, you're going to be paying that for a good quality pair of gloves, anyways. You might as well get these and then have warmer hands.
Use the gloves you already have.
Exactly. Use your mountain bike gloves. So. Yeah,
for sure.
So a lot of pros.
I think we've made a case.
I think so.
All right.
I think so.
Okay, so like any good bike product, there's always something that we're maybe less stoked about.
Yeah, I mean,
let's face it, these things are not that cool looking on the bar.
I think, you know, if I'm heading back to 22-year-old Graeme, yeah, the aesthetic look of it is probably going to be a reason for me to not do it.
Yeah.
But I'm older now, you know, got kids. I value having warmer hands.
As you age, your circulation is not.
Very true. Yeah. So I think aesthetics might be the only. I don't even want to say legitimate reason.
It's not legit. Right. Should 22-year-old Graeme ride these?
He should. And so, yeah, I think maybe, you know, you get some friends that are going to razz you like, oh, nice bar mitts, whatever.
In fact, that happened on our last ride when we both showed up with our big mitts on.
And depending on how good of a friend it is, you know, you'll have nice warm fingers to flip them off.
And I've definitely been on the other side and made fun of my buddies that show up with these. I'm fine with my mitts.
Yeah.
Those look silly.
Yeah. But
I'm a convert.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm all in on bar mitts.
So yeah. So really, the negatives are not even.
It's not negative.
Not really negative.
No. Yeah. You can't worry about what you look
like. Good product.
Yeah. It's a good product. Good product is a good product.
All right.
So we're basically stoked on these. You can't make them look cooler, but we're here to say that that's all right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Right. So to bar mitts.
To bar mitts.
Thank you everybody for watching our bar mitts review. I think it's pretty clear that this is a must-have for anybody that rides year-round. Certainly, you'll see me wearing them anytime the thermometer dips below zero.
Me too.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. And one more quick thank you to Tommy's for hooking us up with the Java for this Brews and Reviews episode on bar mitts. Peace out. See you next time.
All right, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to hammer that like button and subscribe because we've got more coming to you. Thank you very much.